Hi, I'm Nathan.
And I'm Lexi, and together we manage the EcoTrust Canada's North Coast Innovation Lab.
The North Coast Innovation Lab is a place-based initiative to encourage collaboration and innovation with community-based organizations and businesses in Prince Rupert.
The main way we do that is by partnering with local organizations to bring extra capacity to an innovative project or idea that they have on their books. And we do that by hiring a grad student or master student to help them out with that.
We are very excited to share with you our third and final cohort of master students and the projects they have been working on with our partners.
My name is Carly Chichalik, and I'm the Food Security Project Coordinator with EcoTrust Canada's North Coast Innovation Lab and Gitmac Mackay-Niska Society. For me, food is so important because it's really hard to be resilient or to improve other areas of well-being if you're food insecure. So for me, improving people's food security and keeping them interested in local food production is directly a way to improve resiliency. This summer, I've been researching best practices for improving food literacy and food security for Niska members in Prince Rupert. And then I've also been looking into different models for food distribution. So Gitmac Mackay just recently got a hydroponic unit, which is at Rupert Lawn and Garden. And so I've been looking at how can we get those products out to members and community members in Prince Rupert.
In the first cohort, our opportunity was really, we were trying to see how much food could we grow in a greenhouse that wasn't being used to capacity. And now in the second cohort, we've given ourselves permission to think a lot bigger about how can we turn our half-acre site into a legitimate food hub.
There's kind of a misconception in Prince Rupert that it's really hard to garden or it's impossible, but as we can see, it is possible even with all of the rain.
With our biggest challenge being kind of lack of staffing capacity and specialized knowledge, we wouldn't have had the ability to hire Carly without the support of EcoTrust Canada. And so to have her expertise, her ability to research, and her more specialized knowledge, we're able to get deeper into this project than we otherwise would have ourselves.
And I'm so happy that we were able to get together for at least one sort of food-related workshop while I'm here. I think education is so important, so something like our container garden and food security workshop. So you could technically be eating enough food, but still be food insecure if you're not liking the foods that you're eating.
I live on a boat, and eventually when we retire, I want to be self-sufficient on our boat. I do everything on my boat. I can smoke fish, dehydrate. I want to be able to be self-sufficient within 3 years.
I think the joy of knowing that you planted it and then it grew and then you're able to eat it, sort of the security and the cost. Like, you know, you buy things like asparagus and cauliflower and they're so expensive, right? So it'll be nice to actually grow some of the stuff you're going to eat. That's the joy of it.
I think with the COVID-19 pandemic, now more than ever, people are really interested in food security and local food production. It's something that's kind of on everyone's mind. I would also love in the future if Prince Rupert could see its own farmers market, and that's something I'm hoping will continue after I'm gone.
My name is Janet Song, and I am the Business Innovation Project Coordinator with the Prince Rupert and District Chamber of Commerce. And this is an organization that has been partnered with EcoTrust Canada's North Coast Innovation Lab. A key project that I have been working on began with facilitating a citywide survey to understand the state of business in Prince Rupert. It helps inform the Chamber on the 5 key challenges of business. First of all, unpacking what does staffing mean? And it means lack of skilled workers, as well as competitive wages, and finally, just lack of human resources to do the work. And finally, other issues such as current consumer habits of buying online.
All of the things we are working towards to bring our community together, to really support each other, to provide information and help them with innovation, really has become paramount in the new crisis that we're in.
The Chamber was able to do programming in a time where many businesses were in the dark and forced to close due to safety regulations of the pandemic. And during that time, that is where the Chamber filled a gap, where people were in the dark, they didn't know what to do, and what the Chamber did is they called up all our community partners, government, local organizations together to give updates to the businesses. And these businesses finally got a voice. And they were small businesses who were just talking about what they were unsure of.
Janet has brought a passion and an insight as a fresh mind to our community of Prince Rupert. She was, paramount in the organization and execution on the weekly COVID conference calls that we've been having. It has really brought our business community together in a way that we've never seen before. So her passion for purpose has really helped us engage our membership in a completely different way.
We hope to continue our small business task force partnership with the City and Tourism Prince Rupert, as well as look into other partnerships with local organizations that we've gathered in our conversation so far, because we need to collaborate to build innovation together.
I'm Mary Williams, and I am the project coordinator for a restorative ocean farming pilot project operating through a partnership between the North Coast Innovation Lab at EcoTrust Canada and Coastal Shellfish Corporation. The restorative ocean farming project is scoping the best way to meet local demands for seafood, locally produced seafood that is healthy and affordable, while also building a self-sustaining ocean farm operation that grows different species of kelp, shellfish, and potentially more aquatic species in vertical ocean plots.
In coastal shellfish, our scallops are a zero input food, which means that there is no food added to the scallops. There is no fresh water, there's no fertilizer, and there's no antibiotics. So we actually grow the food that we're going to feed to the juvenile scallops, the baby scallops as it were. And this is algae. And it exists in abundance. In many places, we've honed in on specific species that really do assist small scallops to grow healthy, and this is part of the operation that does that. All challenges start with first steps, and in many ways, the steps we're taking now, especially what Mary's doing in putting together community engagement forums and assisting with a wider range of resources out in the world and bringing them to bear on specifically what's happening in our project. This is the kind of work that absolutely has to be done. Nothing goes forward without it. So it's a huge benefit to us and ultimately the project. It was nice to have the North Coast Innovation Lab be focused on the notion of resiliency and food security, as those are kind of the two most important things on a local level.
Climate change, biodiversity loss, and rising food costs will continue to challenge the way we produce and consume foods. Through the Restorative Ocean Farming Project, we have the opportunity to get ahead of future food trends and serve as a demonstration for what a sustainable, self-sustaining, community-based restorative ocean farm could look like.
My name is Lori Hammer, and I'm an arts-based researcher here on Tsimshian territory working with the North Coast Innovation Lab. I've partnered with a group called the Changemakers Education Society, and we're working on the Raventail Storytelling Project. We bring together youth to talk about and express ourselves through art on reconciliation. The Raventail Storytelling Project works toward resiliency in the community because it allows us to hear the voices of youth. It allows us to hear voices that aren't often heard, and it allows us to envision a new way or different ways of seeing how we can get along together and work together to be a stronger community.
Oh, okay, yeah. Having Lori with us, she's brought a different kind of creativity to the table. A couple of the programs she set up, there was the possibility to develop creative skills for our youth, and that was online. She also helped us develop relationships in the community and build on those relationships. She came up with some great art projects and ideas that we hadn't thought of before. We hadn't even thought they were a possibility because it was a big ask from the city, that kind of thing. So definitely brought those skills to the table that we hadn't even considered.
The leaf back in the water, takes a little sip. It gets floating down as a little leaf thinking, that didn't work. I gotta figure a better way.
On Saturday at the Creative Storm Outdoor Art Show, you'll be able to see figurines that have been constructed of paper mache that relate to culturally important things that the youth decided we wanted to see. We'll see a lot of painting on rocks that will express different ideas in the show. We also have some beautiful cedar bracelets and talismans that one of our youth have created as gifts as a part of the exhibition. I see lots of opportunities coming out of this project that will encourage people to use art as a voice, to discover ways to get ideas across that may not be very simple. They're complex ideas, complex feelings, and when you use art to communicate that, you can get a lot out of it and from it.
The past 3 years, the North Coast Innovation Lab have partnered with 7 community organizations and businesses and supported 11 master's students working as project coordinators on social innovation initiatives based in Prince Rupert. This work would not be possible without the generous support of our funding partners, namely the Vancouver Foundation, the Government of British Columbia's Rural Dividend Program, the Kerner Foundation, the McConnell Foundation, My Tax Canada, and the City of Prince Rupert. Thank you.